7. It is Wednesday. You might have heard me say Thursday by accident.
Wishful thinking.
I've lost another day, it seems.
Is that
It's
bank
definitely
holiday?
Wednesday. We're all being asked to be bee-friendly this morning because the number of British bees has dropped dramatically in the past few years.
Because they might be annoying to you when you're having a picnic, but they do pollinate our crops, and to do so by hand, if we had to pollinate our own crops as humans, it would cost us £1.8 billion. Wow. I know. They do a lot of good work for us. They're busy bees. Nick Dixon is in central London for us. Morning, Nick.
Good morning to you. Yes, the gardeners here, the landscape gardeners, have been working their socks off on the night shift, creating this wildflower meadow here in London. They've covered up around about 150 square metres of the concrete here on the Southbank with plants and flowers, all of them extremely bee-friendly. And the lady that's been doing most of the hard work is Emily here, the head gardener. Morning, Emily. So, this is quite a challenge then, creating this in the space of about 6 hours.
Yeah, it was a challenge, the biggest challenge being getting plants that are in flower this time of year.
So what have you got here to attract the bees into the garden?
Well, we've used a lot of native species, and this is a classic example of a bee favourite plant here. Bees see blues and violets first before anything else. So this is one of their top plants. It's called scabious.
OK. A lot of lilacs here as well?
Yeah, this is flowering lilac here, and we've also got flowering crabapple here. OK, I'll let you get back to the planting. OK, thank you.
The reason the garden's been created is to raise awareness of the decline of British bees, and Friends of the Earth are responsible for this garden. Morning, Andrew.
Morning.
So, why should we be taking note of this? Why is it so important?
Well, we think of honey when we think of bees, but probably the most valuable thing bees do for us is pollinating, our fruit and veg in particular. Things like apples, strawberries, all pollinated by bees. So if bees go, the only thing we can do is hand pollinate, and Friends of the Earth has calculated that would cost us £1.8 billion a year if we were to hand pollinate those food crops. So we need to attract bees to our gardens, we need farmers to attract bees to arable land, to the countryside, and that's why we're launching our Bee Cause campaign this morning.
OK, Andrew, thanks for that. A few little known facts here for you this morning, just before we hand back to school for a second. 280 bee species in the UK, and unfortunately wild honeybees are almost extinct in the UK. So you don't have to cover the entire garden with wildflowers and plants, but how about just putting a couple of wildflowers in the window box? It could make a difference. Back to you.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
They're quite hard to grow, though. That's what I'd like tips on. They're not easy wildflowers to grow, I don't find. If you've got a small area, it's great if you've got a big pasture or something.
Speaking
from
experience, though,
yeah,
aren't you,
no,
Kate?
I've really tried. I love a bit of cow pasture, that kind of thing. But I find it quite hard. Anyway, it's not all about my gardening.
Give it another go.
Shall I give it another go?
The bees need you.
For the sake of the bees. All right, let's give it a go. Still to come on Daybreak this morning.